Well, the North York Rangers' struggles continued last weekend against the suddenly surging Burlington Cougars. More on that later in the show. This is the OJ Today. Hey folks, I'm Alex Bastiavansky. On this week's program, the Eastern Canada Cup took place in Cornwall from the 16th to the 18th. We'll fill you in on all the results. Also, we'll have a feature story on JRC sniper Justin Mayolino and a team report on that aforementioned red-hot Burlington squad. But first, we got to get to the Gong Show Gear Game highlights. And for the two-time defending OJ champion Toronto Patriots, it's been a tough year so far. With a younger rebuilding team, they knew it would be difficult to repeat their success yet again. But the Pats got a huge boost of confidence last weekend against their South rival Mississauga. Game highlights now brought to you by Gong Show Gear. Gong Show Gear, lifestyle hockey apparel, official sponsor of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. The Chargers were coming off a 6-3 win over Milton the previous night, so they were looking to keep the momentum going, but it's the Patriots who draw first blood halfway through the first. Pats on the power play. Jake Harris with a nice wrist shot there to make it 1-0. Just a minute and a half later, though, Daniel Pereira picks up the pass from Thomas Latavo, waltzes in, scores, and we've got a 1-1 hockey game on our hands here. Pats on the power play again, though, soon after. Team captain Michael Sadal skates in. Nice little shot past Andrew Cipollone, and it's a 2-1 game for the Pats. Stayed that way into the second period, though, when, don't do this, Mario Ferraro tries to get too fancy behind his own net. Alexandro Acosta makes him pay, and they were all knotted up at 2. The clothesline of the week goes to Mississauga's Francesco Luca. Yeah, I'd say that calls for 2 minutes. Chargers weathered the power play, though, and then it's Scott Doherty coming out of the corner, and he puts it home. It's 3-2 for the Chargers, but then the Pats work the 2-on-1 to perfection here. Connor Beck to Mario Ferraro, who atones for the earlier gaffe. Once again, we're all knotted up, and it's 3-3. Teams traded goals in the third, so it was off to overtime. Jake Harris feeding Luis Di Matteo, who waltzes in here. Beautiful shot. This wins it for the Patriots. Nicely done. As mentioned, definitely a confidence booster for Toronto. And with that victory, they've now won 3 of their last 4 and moved out of the South Division basement. Well, the Markham Royals started out this season like a house of fire, but have suffered a bit of a lull lately as Aurora recently took over top spot in the north from them. But the Royals had a huge 5-0 win over Newmarket last Friday, and we're looking to build on that momentum against the Lindsay Muskies on Sunday. The Muskies had lost 6 of 7 heading into this tilt. Their 43 goals scored, the fewest in the OJ this year. It was scoreless heading into the second period. The Muskies strike first. Dayton Kent down the wing. Way too much time, and it's 1-0 Lindsay. Just before the end of the period, Muskies up 2-0 when Jeff Joint pokes it past Graham Dines to cut the lead in half, and Markham ended up owning the third period.
Here we go, Royals getting opportunities. Shot, score! Right off the draw! For the battle here, getting opportunity. In front, back and rebound, score!
Yeah, thank you, Joe Montesano. Lindsay evened it up on some beautiful tic-tac-toe passing as Josh Wyman goes shelf on Nathan Colito to make it 3-3. But then some bad puck luck as Marco Lozano banks it in off the Muskies defender. That proved to be the game winner. Ouch. 4-3 Markham, your final. So the Royals managed to keep pace with first place Aurora. They're just 3 points behind now with 2 games in hand as well. The Wellington Dukes visiting the aforementioned Aurora Tigers last Friday, and the Cats strike first on the PP. Evan Kearns tips in the pass from the point. 1-0 for Aurora, but then 3 minutes later, off the scramble out front here, can't quite see it, but Austin LaBelle somehow manages to get this one to go, and it's a 1-1 hockey game. It stayed that way into the second period of play. The Dukes on the odd man rush. Chase St. Aubin knocks it past Alex Fotinos, and that puts Wellington up 2-1. Then Justin Bean with the point shot perfectly placed here, bulges the twine, and that was the insurance marker they didn't end up needing. 3-1 Dukes your final. Wellington have now won 3 straight after coming off a 3-game slide, and they've now won both their games against Aurora. Bean, St. Aubin, and LaBelle tallying for the Dukes. OJHL trivia. this week. Our question is, what year did the Aurora Tigers last win the Royal Bank Cup? What year? They've won 2 Royal Bank Cups, but when did they win their most recent one? 2 tickets to a game at the 2015 World Junior A Challenge is the prize, taking place in Cobourg and Whitby, December 13th and 19th, a great prize. Email Isaac Westgate, which is at iwestgate@theojhl.ca to win 2 tickets to this fantastic upcoming event.
Derek Tapadage, right defense, Orangeville Flyers. This year, I think we're going to be a huge contender in the league. We've got a lot of veteran players that played last season and a lot of young, fast players as well. So it really should help set the tone for the rest of the season and should allow us to make a long playoff push. Being team captain really means I have the respect and from my teammates, which means a lot and gives you a lot of responsibility that helps you grow into a better person, better player. My teammates have been the driving factor behind my success. They really have helped me along every step of the way. They've given me support, and really I wouldn't be where I am now if not for them.
Well, the Eastern Canada Cup All-Star Challenge took place this week in Cornwall, featuring teams from the 5 Eastern Junior A leagues. And while it was a great opportunity for scouts to check out potential recruits, it also served as the key event for Canada East coaches to pick out players for the upcoming World Junior A Challenge. The OJ fielded 4 teams with 80 players total. And make sure you head to ojhl.ca for all the results from the showcase. We're just going to show you the 2 semifinal results. 2 of the OJ teams out of the 4 made it to the semifinals. OJHL Coffee lost to the eventual champions from the Quebec League by a 4-3 count. And OJ Howard Chuck lost to CCHL Iserman by a 1-0 count in the other semi. So as mentioned, 2 of the 4 teams from the OJ made the semifinals. And we see how all the teams from the OJ finished up. Coffee and Howard Chuck with 6 points. Nieuwendyk and Oates with 3. Good showing by the OJ teams. And remember, winning the challenge wasn't the main goal of this. It was to showcase the 80 players from the OJ to the Team Canada East coaches for the upcoming World Junior A Challenge. Well, the slide continues for the North York Rangers. Since defeating Wellington back on October 30th, the squad, which has dropped back in the battle for top spot in the South, had lost 6 straight, and Burlington extended that streak last Sunday. The Cougars had won 4 straight heading into this one. These were 2 teams headed in opposite directions. North York hits first, though. Christian Mitri just outworks Jordan Peacock. Nicely done. Hard work there. 1-0 for the Rangers, but David Thompson draws the Cougars level. He deflects the point shot home here. 1 of 2 he scored on the day, and it's a 1-1 hockey game. And then it's Greg Allen from the point here with a kind of half pass, half shot thing that Ben Morris ends up finishing off. Cougars go up by a 2-1 count. That's how it was heading into the second period of play, where B-Town extends its lead. Great passing on the power play. Zach Herman finishes off the one-timer. 3-1 for Burlington. Late in the frame, though, Rangers on the power play. Fedor Rudikov off the beautiful backdoor pass from Campoli, and North York is right back in it. This is the backbreaker, though. Just 45 seconds left in the period. Home the rebound for his second of the game, and the Cougars double up their lead. It's 4-2. The Rangers get one back in the third, though, with the man advantage. Campoli camps out on the doorstep, wraps home the rebound to pull them within 1. But that is as close as they would get. Burlington would add an empty netter to make it a 5-3 final. Herman, Thompson with 2, Morris and Volpe for the Cougars, Rudikov, Campoli, and Mitri for the Rangers. Okay, Whitby laid the smackdown on Pickering in every single aspect last Sunday. Physically was one way. Luke Keenan lays out Tyler Chalice with a monstrous hit. Fury short-handed 6 minutes in, doesn't matter. Scott Curtin steals it, and it's Whitby up by 1. Leading 2-zip on the power play, Ryan Taylor cleans up the garbage out front. 3-0 for Whitby. The break couldn't come soon enough for Pickering, but things got no better for them in the second. Shorthanded again. Jeffrey Gall to Scott Curtin for his second of the afternoon. And the Fury were rolling. The third was a bloodbath for Pickering. Their defense looked disinterested on this day at best. Ryan Heaps to Brock Welsh, money, 5-0 Whitby. And then another shorthanded goal, 3 on the day for Whitby, if you can believe it. Nick Korick sauntering in, deposits, 6-zip. Zach Viminitz has scored some beauties for Whitby this year. Here's another. Roof Daddy past Matthew Wawroniak. 7-0 Fury. Pickering would add late in the period one, but that didn't take the sting away. 7-1 Whitby, your final. Balanced scoring with Curtin getting a deuce for the Fury. Okay, Mississauga in town to visit the Raiders Wednesday night. This was a crazy game. Sauga hits first. Beautiful passing. Daniel Pereira from Scott Doherty. And nice little tip there. 1-0 for the Chargers. It stayed that way into the second, where the goals came fast and furious.
For Grennan. There's a turnover there. It's Damiani with the backhand. It's blocked. A rebound. They score! Riley Damiani fires it home. But Bushi can't even now. Brady at break. Here come the Chargers at break. They shoot. They score! Aiden Parker on the breakaway goes high and up. Over to Jackson Cole. He shoots. Here's a screen. Rebound. And Crocker. He scores! Jordan Crocker buries the rebound. Gets it up for Moda. Moda over the blue line. Makes a move and shoots. Stop the rebound there. And they score! Malala cleans up the rebound. Brennan back to Pereira. Down low to Doherty. Doherty with it. To the point man Choma. He shoots and scores! Mike Choma from the high slot.
There were 9 goals scored in the second. Tied 5-5 into the third. Asher Elliott puts the Raiders ahead as he slides one past Andrew Cipollone to make it 6-5 Georgetown. And then what proved to be the game winner, a scramble out front here. Eventually Brendan Jacome wraps it home to make it 7-5. Like I said, this was one crazy hockey game. 9-6 is the final. Jordan Crocker had a hat trick for the Raiders. The Jacome brothers combined for 9 points between them as Georgetown grabs 2 important points to keep pace with first place Buffalo. Okay, OJHL standings. Let's get caught up to date here in the Northeast North Division. Aurora 3 up on Markham, but the Royals with a couple games in hand there. In the East, Trenton and Kingston in a fight for first, but Trenton has 3 games in hand on the V's. In the South Division, Oakville and JC's tied for first place with 30 points each. And in the West, Buffalo up by a point on the Raiders, 33-32, but the Raiders do have a game to make up there as well. Okay, alumni update. We've got a few to tell you about this week. Devin Mantha of the Mississippi River Kings named SPHL Player of the Week. Jamie Phillips from Michigan Tech named WCHA Defensive Player of the Week. And Danny Licio of Morrisville State named SUNYAC Rookie of the Week. Also, Parker Wood from Endicott College named ECAC Northeast Rookie of the Week. And Pat Egan from SUNY Plattsburgh named SUNYAC Rookie of the Week. Welcome back. Well, the Toronto Junior Canadians are continuing right where they left off last year after making it all the way to the Southwest Conference Final. Currently, they're tied with Oakville for top spot in the South. A massive part of their success can be attributed to sniper and team captain Justin Mayolino. More on the Niagara University recruit now and this week's OJ Player Profile. Justin Mayolino is a well-traveled veteran of the OJHL. After stints with Aurora and Newmarket, the 20-year-old found a home with the Junior Canadians the past 2 seasons, and what a force he's been. Currently, he leads the squad in scoring after finishing second on the team last year.
Justin's dangerous every time he gets the puck. You know what, this might sound strange, but I've told guys, if I played with Justin Molino, I'd get him the puck, I'd go to the net. As long as my stick was on the ice, I could be a 50-goal scorer. Okay, I mean, he loves to set up guys. He's a pass-first guy, but he's a guy, if a goalie gives him just enough room for a puck underneath the crossbar, Justin will put that puck there. I mean, too bad I'm old now, but if I was young again, I'd love to play with him because he could probably make me a 50-goal scorer.
I try to slow the game down a little bit. You know, I see myself as more of a playmaker, so I like to find the open spot and, you know, hit players on their good side when they can score. So obviously this year I'm a leader, so I want to just show these guys that, you know, this is what I bring to the table. I just kind of go with the situation. In Newmarket, they kind of needed me to score a little bit more goals, so that's what I did. Last year we had a guy like Rapace and Spivak and Jarzovic, so I was more of a setup guy. I would set them up and find where they would score goals, and so I guess I'll just see what happens this year. If they need me to score goals, I'll try and score goals. If they need me to pass, I'll pass the puck.
Maiolino plays much bigger than his 5'7", 165-pound frame, but he's well aware of the size discrepancy when he's out there.
Well, it's obviously very dangerous because I have to be aware all the time I'm on the ice. A smaller guy can't get away with certain stuff that a bigger guy will, so I have to be aware all the time, and you know, I feel like I use it pretty well because of my size. I can slide in and out of certain situations, and so far it's worked for me, so I hope I can keep it up.
Walks out, shoots, and scores! What a shot by Justin Maiolino!
Justin is the captain of the Junior Canadians. It's a responsibility he takes to heart, and one that head coach Mario Cicillo was happy to give him.
But he's just a great person, okay? He's respectful. He comes to practice every day. He works hard. He's our captain this year for a reason. He's a captain because all the guys respect him, but the main thing, he respects everybody else on the hockey club. We've got 22 guys on this hockey club. He respects them all, and in return, they respect him. And you know what? Very skilled, and he leaves everything out on the ice every single day.
He obviously brings great leadership, being the captain, and he leads by example. Every day at practice, he's one of the first ones there, always stretching, leading the warm-up, getting guys to do stuff together, making sure the team bonds. And on ice, he works harder than everyone else. He has his own way to play the game, and he makes sure he does that because he's a smaller guy, but he uses that to his advantage.
Here, I'll give you an example. When we announced just after training camp our season A's, and we announced Justin Maiolino would be our captain this year. We had 21 guys because we've only got 22 on the team. We've had 21 guys and applaud like he had just won the presidency of the United States. So there's an example of what his teammates think of him.
Well, I think it's a huge honor to be the captain of any team, but especially this Junior Canadians team. You know, the management we have is unbelievable. They've treated me with the utmost respect, so I'm very excited to lead these guys, and hopefully we can make a big run here.
Maiolino was interviewed for this story shortly before he was offered a scholarship and signed with the Niagara Purple Eagles of the NCAA. It was a dream come true for him for many reasons, as you'll hear him explain in his comments about what his ultimate goals were in hockey.
The ultimate goal for me is I want to keep playing hockey as long as I can, and you know, to help my parents out and get education out of that would be awesome. So that's why I keep playing, and you know, I see myself going to school one day playing hockey. So if I can get that done, that would be a huge accomplishment, and obviously it would help out my parents a lot.
Okay, before we head to break, a couple more games to show you. Kingston at Pickering last Friday. The Panthers would strike first. Chris Sekulic with the quick wrister past David Richer to make it 1-0 Cats. They led by one heading into the second frame, but then it was all Kingston. Tied 1-1, OJ leading scorer Anthony Rinaldi gets his 27th on the season, and then Matthew Lourenco on the power play. He makes it 3-1 Vs, and then 2 minutes later, Zachary Emilifonu wraps home the rebound to make it a 3-goal bulge. They'd continue to roll after that. 6-2 your final. Rinaldi picked up 2 on the day. Don't look now. The Vs have won 5 of 6 and continue to keep pace with Trenton for first in the East. Oakville was on a mini slide, having lost 2 straight heading into Orangeville last Saturday. No scoring in the first. Oakville get on the board in the second. Paul Butler with the point shot. Peyton Reeves with the redirect. 1-zip Blades. Late in the frame, short-handed John DiLorenzo with the bad luck as he redirects it into his own cage. It happens. 2-0 Blades. Third period, Orangeville gets one back. Ryan Barboza spins, just chucks it at the net and ends up scoring a beauty. Top shelf to cut the lead in half, but Oakville just shuts the door for good late in the period. Josh Kozak makes it 3-1. That's how it finishes up. That loss made it 3 straight defeats for the Flyers. They'd snapped that streak against Mississauga last Sunday, but they'd now been passed by Burlington for 3rd spot in the West Division.
This year, the World Junior A Challenge celebrates 10 years with its first trip to Ontario. Will you be in Cobourg and Whitby when the puck drops? From December 13th to 19th, Canada East and Canada West face off with the Czech Republic, Russia, Switzerland, and the United States in the chase for gold. Ticket packages are on sale now, so visit hockeycanada.ca/WJAC today.
Welcome back to the OJ Today. Now, Burlington has a storied junior hockey history dating all the way back to 1952. Now, back then, the team we presently know as the Cougars were known as the Mohawks. And the organization has won 7 league titles at different levels over its lifespan. And this year's squad is once again looking like a legitimate threat to make some serious noise come playoff time. This week's team report brought to you by Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk, official sponsor of the OJHL. What a difference a year makes. Last season, the Burlington Cougars limped along into a last place finish in the West Division with the 2nd lowest point total in the entire OJHL. This season, the Cougars have been one of the best stories in the league. They've already surpassed their 11-win total of a year ago and are one of the OJ's hottest teams right now.
Last year I think we had 3 vets on our team, so we had a lot of rookies, a lot of inexperience. And almost got into the habit of it was all right to lose. So we definitely got away from that this season. So that was probably the biggest downfall last season, that we were almost okay with losing.
So they had some players that probably weren't ready for junior A hockey. And this year, the Cougars, we've come into it with a completely different philosophy about development and winning. So that was the main thing. I think we have depth throughout our forwards. We've got a good group of forwards, and we've got really excellent D and 2 great goaltenders. That's why I really believe we've got a chance to compete.
Mark Juris is a major factor behind the Burlington turnaround. He'd previously coached the team when his son Josh, now with the Calgary Flames, was a Cougar from 2008 to 2010. Mark was brought back in midway through last season.
I think Mark is one of the best player coaches that I've ever had. He's just so relatable, and he's been through every step of the game. He understands what we're going through in all of these situations. So he's going to be there for us if we're ever having hard times.
Our D-zone coverage, we're going to go to our new box in 1. Okay? Keep things tight. Again, it's contained. We're not going for the big hit.
You could feel it starting last season when we got when Mark Juris came in and Kirby came in, took over the team. And it just, from there, we just kind of got like an understanding that losing wasn't okay, and in the dressing room everything got better. We got tighter as a team, and it kind of all translated onto the ice. And
Jack Jeffers was on the NHL preliminary draft list as a player to watch and is the Cougars' leading scorer. He recently had asked for a trade from Burlington and sat out 3 games, but changed his mind and is now back in the lineup, a huge boost for their offense. Right behind him in scoring is sniper Daniel Volpe.
Oh, he's just a dynamic offensive player. He's got real great hockey IQ. He's got an excellent shot. He's a big, strong kid. Can do everything.
Team captain Willie Paul can do it all for the Cougars. He's their top defenseman and is also averaging a point per game.
Oh, I mean, he's just an all-around great person, first of all, and he can hit. He's got a great shot, good hockey IQ, great leader. Just a guy that you win with and you want on your team.
It's been a real pleasure to be playing with him this year. He's a great hockey player and a great leader, and I think a lot of the guys like to look up to him and take his example, and it's always nice to be playing with a friend too. It just makes it that much easier.
2 huge contributors have been Nathan Gomes, who came over after last season from Ontario Junior B champions Caledonia, and defenseman David Kiss.
Dave, Dave is definitely the stay-at-home defenseman that everybody wants. He's the best player you'll never notice kind of thing. I definitely love playing with Dave. My favorite player out there, if I'm not being honest with you. Yeah, Gomes actually is one of my best friends growing up, so I've known him my whole life. I played a lot of hockey with him. He came over from Caledonia, and he's been a great fit for us, I think. He definitely works both ends of the ice, and he newly just got an A on his jersey because we think he's a great leader off the ice too, so I definitely don't have a bad thing to say about him.
Heading into this weekend, the Cougars were riding a 5-game win streak, and they feel they're just starting to put it all together.
I mean, I've seen the league enough to know that, you know, we're a couple pieces away from really competing at the top. Like, we've got the pieces that are there, and we've just got to come together and be a team, and we'll figure it out.
I see the desire to win, and I see the want, and I definitely see the skill. It's just a matter that we got to put this all together, and I really do think that we can bring playoff hockey back to the Burlington Cougars, and that's been my goal since the season start, and I really think that we have the chance to accomplish that.
And just before we go, a look at the top 5 plays from the last week in the OJ. And number 5, Wellington's Justin Bean goes bottle hunting against Aurora and finds it. What a wrister, top shelf, beautiful. And number 4, Ryan Barbosa of Orangeville turns and burns it past Brendan McGlynn. Just the 3rd goal of the year for him, but it is a beauty. Number 3, North York's Christian Mitri turns on the Jets and just outworks the Cougars here. Beautiful goal. A ray of sunshine on an otherwise cloudy day for the Rangers last Sunday. Number 2, nice passing by the Chargers here. Scott Doherty to Daniel Pereira for the sweet little tip. One of 15 goals scored in that crazy game against the Raiders. Number 1, second overtime, the Patriots' Louis DiMatteo plays the hero against the Chargers for the 5-4 win. Nicely done. That's your OJ play of the week. And that is all the time we've got for this week. Just remember, though, to head to the league website at ojhl.ca for all the up-to-date news, stats, and standings, on Twitter at OJHLofficial, and at facebook.com/OJHLofficial. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I will see you next week. We'll be right back.